In this video, I want to show you how to work the picot edging in the Bootkicked scarf. So there's the picots, and you see they make this nice little ruffly edge. In the pattern, I simply wrote make picot because there are many ways to do this. I'm showing you what I did, but if you have a method you like better, just do that instead. To make a picot, you cast on stitches and then you bind them off immediately. So there are several ways to cast on. One way is knitted cast on, which looks just like knitting. You put the tip in, you wrap, you pull up a stitch. And then the thing that's different is you don't drop the old stitch off the left needle and you put that new stitch up. And you can either do it purlwise or you can do it knitwise. Okay. What I did was cable cast on, which looks just like knitted on cast on, except instead of putting your needle here, you put your right needle here in between stitches, which I know sounds completely bizarre, but it works. So in between, wrap around, bring your new stitch up, and then put it on purlwise. And I'm going to cast on 3 stitches total, so I'm going to do that twice more. In between, around, and up, and then on purlwise. And the last one, in between, around, up, and purlwise. Okay, so I cast on 3 stitches. Now I'm going to bind those off. I'm going to slip the first stitch knitwise, and the reason I'm doing that rather than working it is when I worked it I got a very square edge here on my picot that I didn't really like. So slipping it gives me this more rounded edge that I like better. But again, this is your project. Do as you like. If you prefer the squarer edge, then work this instead of slipping it. And the way I slip it is I slip it knitwise. So I go into it like this and I slip it knitwise. And now I'm going to work 3 stitches and bind them off. So in, yarn around, and then bind off. There's one, and then we'll do it again. And bind off another one. And then do it again, knit, and bind off. Okay, and that's made a picot. And you can cast on and bind off more or fewer, and that will make your picots bigger or smaller. That's the last thing for making a picot. Now in this pattern there are some triangular sections in which I have you increase in the bottom stitch in the picot, which is right here. So in the triangular sections you make the picot, and then you see how I bring that left needle tip up to open this up? And you can just go right in there and knit it, and that will make a nice hidden increase. And so that's how you increase at the beginning of the triangular sections. And there you go. That is how you make picots and increase in them in the Bootkicked scarf.